position car. Now, grip still looked pretty good. However, it was raining quite heavily. Leader on the dotted Gehör now. And let's also remember, is that rain there or is that just bugs I can see? It's bugs in the air there. That's extraordinary how much wildlife there is in the air. That's going to be getting on the screen. That's going to get smooshed across the vision area if he has to wipe his windscreen. He's in sunshine there, and the Audi team have got a brand new sticker set of Dunlop sticks. WRT as the land car gets stuck in behind one of the Porsches, the Motul sponsored Porsche, on the dotted Gehör now. Oh dear me.
Here comes a 9.
9 is in the pit lane. This is at the end. No, this is at the end of his 7th lap, Paul, isn't it?
No, this is the end of his 8th lap. This is the end of his 8th lap. So now, the Rowe racing car has to stay out. They have no option. They don't need the fuel, so there's no point in Rowe racing coming in for wet tyres. So I think that the WRT team has to cover whatever Rowe Racing does. If Rowe Racing are staying on the same tyres, it's just a new set of tyres for WRT and as well for Lant when they come round at the end of this lap as well.
Brand new, and I mean absolutely brand new, sticker tyres. And the fuel's still going in. We're inside the last half an hour, so once the fuel's done, it's done. They were looking to take a tear off the screen there, and I don't think there's one left. And they're going to have to clean the screen. The car's down, and clearly Rennie Rast worried about getting vision problems, but the fuel's still going in. They're not losing time, but they went to take a tear off from the screen there. There was nothing left on the screen.
They've all gone. One thing that this rain is doing is it's slowing the pace, and that might mean we're 1 lap short, and that might mean that well, it doesn't mean you take a risk and put less fuel in, but it certainly means that those who are taking a gamble on the tyres can leave the same tyres on.
Van der Linde comes out of the Tiergarten. He's heading for the pit lane as well. He's caught up behind the 235 M Cup 5 car. Stand by, fire it, go. And out goes Rennie Rast. Oh, and he's almost caught up. He was held there. Thank goodness he was held, because that was almost disaster coming out behind the 73rd car. This is the 76 Porsche. So he's back out. There's high fives. Well, the team have done their job. Hugs all round as in comes Kelvin van der Linde.
The gap between the two Audis is going to be almost precisely the length of the pit stop for the number 9. He launched just as the number 29 car crossed the pit speed limit line.
And we're still waiting for the Rowe Racing BMW to get on to the Duttinger Hoa.
Yeah, and he hasn't finished sector 4 yet, Paul. You're right. Laptop is plugged in to the 29 Land Audi. Let's just put that software in and turn it up a bit, I think. Is there a spinal tap setting for 11 for that car? Because if it is, it's just been uploaded. The car is down. The tyres are on. And, oh, he's gone and stopped because they didn't have the fuel cap screwed back on. Can you believe it? And this is a disaster for Land. And this is exactly what they didn't need. As soon as it went down, the driver started going. And Van der Linde now has to wait for the fuel cap to go back on. And they're still not finished putting fuel in. It's disaster.
Rowe Racing in Tiergarten, John.
They're going to lose second place here. They knew that was an issue. They haven't got enough fuel in. As soon as it hit the ground, Van der Linde dropped the clutch and it was gone. And here comes Rowe Racing across the line. And into second place, and still the 29 Audi, they're struggling with this fuel cap. They may have damaged it. It's going up, and they're changing tyres. They're going to put wets on it.
They're going to put wets on pit straight, John.
This might, can you believe this? That fumble might have put them in with a shout here, because they've been able to make a change when 30 seconds before, when they should have been down and gone. Unbelievable. Oh, it's soaking out the back.
It's all they've got left, but could it be the right move?
Out the back. Left rear is the last tyre to go on. Go, 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 go. He's been waved out. And Kelvin van der Linde is heading out. It's raining on the pit lane now.
It's raining heavily on the pit lane.
Oh, my goodness, the last roll of the dice. Mother Nature. Has Mother Nature decided this is the 29 cars race? And having wanted to slap somebody round the head for releasing the car so early, Are they? Now there's a round of applause you can hear in the background from the guys in the pit lane. An immense call from Land Audi, and more wet weather tyres for Rowe. Michelin wet weather for Rowe.
I have to say, John, it's all they had left. Yep. That's all they could do at that stage, because the race was gone at that point. Yep. That was an awful pit stop from Land Motorsport.
Oh, just unbelievable. Could that be the fumble that has given them the opportunity? The 98 car in second place goes out onto the Hatson back. Graham Goodwin.
Well, John...
On slicks. First two are on slicks. Rennie Rast and... who did we put in the 98 car?
Katzberg.
Katzberg, thank you. Nicky Katzberg.
Dry
First
here.
And second, dry through the Hatson back, and they are both on dry weather tyres. Dunlop and Michelin in that order.
Beginning to show signs of a little bit of dampness here.
And a problem for the number one car. It's gone off at Flansgarden. The number one car has gone off. There is water running across the track, and that's how dangerous it is. This is not over by any stretch of the imagination. Whoa, dear, this has come alive. The 29 car already with the windscreen wipers on before it's even left the Grand Prix circuit. But remember, it's on treaded Dunlop tyres.
Just how long the dry parts of the track, and there's a lot of it by the look of it, can those Dunlop wets hang on? They've got to hang on for 16 minutes.
Yeah,
maybe
more
than that.
Definitely more than that, because it's a full lap. Even though the checkered flag comes out, for those who are coming up to the flag at 24 hours, they have to let it go to the line for the winners of the race.
Contact with the barrier for the number one car. Adam Christodoulou sending us a message. They've got a puncture, and that car is going to drop back. They'll go on to wets, I'm sure, as the 99 goes on to Michelin wet tyres. Oh my goodness! No wonder people are going off. And
that's beneath the barrier as well.
And that's the 42, isn't it? That's the 42, the fourth place car. Yes, it is. The 42 Schnitzer car has got the back end hanging off, and it is like skating on ice here.
That's not 42.
It is the 42. It absolutely is the 42. The back end hanging off, the red and white Shell-sponsored car.
And remember that both the leading Audis are out there on slick
and they're
tyres.
Not here yet. They're not to the part of the circuit where it's very wet. We've got at least a third of its walking pace now. The record's gone, yeah. Well, I just heard Martin say that. Record distance is gone. The Rowe car is... Now, that's the 98 car. That's second position. Honestly, I could cycle quicker than that out on that part of the... Even I could cycle quicker than that at the moment.
Is that the 90... That's the 99 road
No,
car.
it's the 98, Paul.
It's 98. The 98...
Okay, that's the car that's on slicks. It's not the
Correct.
two leading
Apologies,
Audis.
I've just realised my mistake. It's the 29 we now need to be looking for. And we need to be looking at that third sector.
Now, the thing is with that car, if it can do...
The 29 car's just got off. Oh, no, he's hung on to it in Adenauer Forest. It's wet from Adenauer Forest onwards, so down through the foxhole. And now the 29 car with Kelvin van der Linde has got rain tyres, and now he's pulling back to the two leaders.
If he can lap under 10 minutes, then he can make the race go long enough so that he can get through and onto the last lap before the checkered... onto the 159th lap before the checkered flag comes out.
The problem's going to be yellow flags and him not allowed to overtake cars moving slowly. He doesn't want yellows. People can cover a second in the class of SPAT, crawling around at the moment. Everybody is honestly, if I was out there in the 968 now, I'm lapping the leaders. Oh, this is amazing stuff. And it is survival. This is the second place car. We haven't seen Rennie Rast at all, the leader. Do you come... Now, what do you do if you're the first two? Do you have an extra pit stop? You've got to, haven't you? You can't keep driving around.
Rennie Rast is through the carousel and is headed up towards the Wifferman, or up towards Hohe Acht, and then down into the Wifferman.
Flansgarden, I'm being told by a number of spectators who are tweeting in at RSL_studio, looks like a river. Amazing to watch, terribly dangerous. And now, Nicky Katzberg and Rennie Rast are just surviving, and Kelvin van der Linde is being told on the phone, Get on it, son, because you've got to get up to them this time around.
He lost time to the 2 cars on slicks. WRT are clearing out.
Yeah, they've got to. They've got to. You can't risk another lap like this.
John,
the Rowe car is moving around on the straight. It's amazing driving from Katzberg. And on the live, that's a Porsche that's about to go straight on there.
Van der Linde has taken 20 seconds out of the 2 other cars in Sector 3.
On the live telemetry, that was the word I was looking for the leader, you can see his speed varying by 20 to 30 kilometres an hour as his rear wheels are spinning up. And that's the 98 car again, Katzberg, all over the road. And there's a huge plume of water coming out from slicks. How's he getting that car stopped? And now
it's going to be off.
He's going off at the bottom of the hill that leads up to the carousel. I think it looks a little drier there. Yes, that's exactly where it is. Oh, my goodness me. Where then is Van der Linde? Van der Linde
is a way back, but he has to say he took 20 seconds out of the 2 cars ahead of him, both on slicks, in the 3rd sector alone.
Van der Linde's now caught traffic. Now, what he doesn't want is any yellow flags. Van der Linde carving his way past other cars at the moment because he's got the surety of tyres. Now, it's not a get-out-of-jail-free car. He's at the carousel. He's at the carousel now. He's going to catch Katzberg before the end of the lap. He's going to catch Katzberg before the end of the lap, and then there's only another 90 seconds to the leader.
And there's not so many cars between them either, John.
No.
There's only 4 or 5 cars between Katzberg and Van der Linde.
Oh, my goodness. Drama piled upon drama. The race was gone 15 minutes ago.
Off.
Oh, Rast's off. Rast's off. And that is at the Tiergarten. Is it? No, it's Brunchen, excuse me. Brunchen up to the ice curve. He was on the... how is he... Everybody just drifting around. The 19 BMW's beat in the wall. Tom Onslow-Cole's got deranged right rear suspension, and the back end of that car is steering itself. Doesn't need that. Slippery surface flags are out all around the circuit now.
I'm watching the shot we've got, and is that the Rowe Racing car?
Oh, my goodness me. Now, there are not yellow flags. Tom Onslow-Cole crabbing the car down. He daren't overtake anybody, and Rast's right there. Rast goes past Onslow-Cole as the battle for second is now going the way of Van der Linde.
Off. BMW's off.
The BMW off. Katzberg is off at Brunchen. Same spot of the circuit. The leader had a problem, so Rast is only 3 corners further on, and the race is coming back to land.
Unbelievable.
Hang on a second. Somebody pinch me and wake me up.
There will be
He's on the grass. He's on the grass.
That's not the 9. That's 17. That's a 17 car.
It's the 29 car on the grass.
Yes.
The 29 car now in second is on the grass, picking his way through. He's gone rally crossing to go by people who are struggling on slicks. Just has to keep it, roughly speaking. Do you know what? There's probably more grip on the grass at the moment than there is on the track.
One more lap at the end of this one, John. We've got one more lap at the end of this one.
Inside 10 minutes.
Inside 10 minutes, one more lap at the end of this one. Well, what does the team do for Rennie Rast? A wall of cars ahead of Kelvin van der Linde. He's done brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly, flashing his lights, blue flags being waved by our fabulous marshals here.
Now he's clear.
He's clear now, but I tell you, he was on the grass there, all 4 wheels, and how he held on to that, I've no idea. The pass on the grass might win this race for the 2019. They were down, they were out, they were head in hands, they were crying, they were sobbing, they were inconsolable less than 40 minutes ago, and the leader is mired in traffic coming onto the Dottinger as the second place car comes out of the Kleiner carousel.
2 corners behind.
What do? Paul Truswell, team manager, do you pit Rennie Rast for wet tyres?
Yes, you have to pit Rennie Rast for wet tyres in these conditions. That would be my call, no question about it. Obviously, you're gonna leave leave Van der Linde out there. I don't know if Katzberg is actually going to get round. Is he?
Katzberg is staying driver's right. Excuse me, Van der Linde is staying driver's right. Katzberg is struggling mightily. He's already been off the circuit at Brunchen.
He's lost second place already, that's for sure.
He's got a half a chance of losing third here, because remember the 42 BMW went on to wet weather tyres too. Now, drier part of the circuit.
Sector 4, 6 minutes and 8 seconds for René Rast, 4 minutes and 21 seconds for Van der Linde.
Hey, Katzberg did 5:25.
Katzberg is catching René Rast.
Yes. Yes.
Which is why Rast has to stop for tyres.
Well, has he come in?
And he's
Yes,
he's
in the pit lane now. He's got the 24th place, number 3, Jerome Moll.
What drama.
Sorry, the 3 Mercedes, and stand by, because after the drama, after the heartbreak, after the tears, the 29 car is back in the lead and starts what will be for him his last lap of the 2017 ADAC Zurich 24 hours. And the weather has taken away the chance of a win for the Rast car, the number 9 car, with grass, with dirt, with rubbish, all in the intakes, and the team will go to work. It doesn't need fuel, just bang a set of tyres on it and get him at now. Now the question is, how fast do you drive on the dry bits?
Palteller in the pits.
Yeah, had to.
Like Katzberg rather in the pits.
Yeah, so that, where is the other BMW? It's too far back, the 42. The 42 is too far back. The world's most expensive grass cutting machinery is the front splitter of that Audi, and they're looking underneath. Do you know what? I tell you what, they just about got the man. No. Oh, I'm not sure that was a fist in the air.
They didn't do tyres on either car. They didn't do tyres on either car. I don't think they did tyres on that car.
It's carnage in the pit lane, and Katzberg is still in with a chance of second here. Van der Linde is gone. What he's got to do now, and they've got to be on the phone to him now saying, steady boy, take it steady on the dry bit. You've got to have some tread blocks left by the time you get to the wet bit. So my goodness.
So we've been looking through this race at what lap time was we talking, Paul? A good racing lap time?
8 minutes 20.
Last lap time for René Rast was 14 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah, just seen 6 minutes on that last lap.
Just seen the still from the pass on the grass from Kelvin van der Linde, and he was well off. More than all 4 wheels. More 4 wheels and another half of Audi, pretty much. And my goodness, how things can change. The car dropped, Van der Linde, anxious to get out, pulls the fuel hose out, the fuel cap not in, more fuel having to be put in, push the car back, nightmare of the pits. Oh, hang on, what's that? It's raining. Well, shall we put some wets on? I don't know. Oh, go on then, let's put some wets on. It's won them the race.
Didn't take them that long to decide, John.
No, it didn't.
Somebody said do it, and they went and did it.
I was playing that for drama. Tom Onslow Cole. That is, isn't it? It
is the 19 car.
Yeah, Tom Onslow Cole dropping out of the top 10 and crabbing. That car's been off. It's got damage to the right rear suspension.
Whatever happens now, the lead change has come on the last lap.
Correct.
To actually to give this win either to Land Motorsport or to the other chasing cars if dramas are still to come. But the lead changed on the final lap of this race for the 2nd consecutive year.
Dindo Capello down in the pit with Marcel Fessler. Teammates at Audi for such a long time, colleagues at least. Don't understand why the guys pitted and then didn't put weather tyres on. If they were stationary long enough, just checking the cars over, maybe. Maybe the 42 BMW, I can't remember which tyres we put on them. Did they stop? No, they didn't.
42 did stop, yes.
All right, we did stop. Are you sure?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, the only car that didn't stop was the number 29 car, the Van der Linde car, for obvious reasons. Everybody else came in or didn't make it round at all. And that, for example, is what happened to the number 31. The Fricadelli Porsche hasn't actually come round.
Right. 42 hasn't finished the lead lap yet, though. It's still on 156. That's still in the danger sector 4. Well, my goodness me. Would you credit it? With due respect to all the other racing going on this weekend, at Indianapolis, at Monaco, at the Monte Carlo, at British GT, at the GT Masters at Spa, honestly, are you going to have as much action as we've had in the last 20 minutes? I probably think not.
And the battle is still on for second place. I don't know if you're getting it on the TV pictures, but there is nothing to choose on the scanner, on the plotter. The second place between the WRT car and the Rowe Racing BMW.
Going down into the foxhole now, and that is where the damp starts, and it gets progressively wetter from there all the way around. The leader, Kelvin van der Linde, and the 29 Land Audi halfway round the circuit, and surely somebody's got to be on the phone to him now saying, take it steady, son. The DJI drone watching the cars coming round. Great addition this year. Change for second place at Adenauer Forst in the damp, side by side, and through goes Katzberg. Great manoeuvre. And all of a sudden it's BMW into second place, and now all the long faces are down at René Rast's crew at Audi Sport Team WRT, and BMW have something to cheer about. Remember, they stayed on their Michelin tyres.
Through the drier part of that circuit, sector 2, the BMW took 8 seconds out of the leading car, but this is where it starts to get rather trickier. This is where the wet stuff is, and this is where Kelvin van der Linde, if he can keep it on the island, should.
Darren Turner, by the way, took 1 minute and 2 seconds out of the Bentley that's ahead of him in 21st position. DT is exactly the man you need in these. He has driven through hail here and got it back. He has driven through a monsoon. I said this the other day. If we get
this is exactly the conversation we had with David King.
If it's going to be bad at the end of the race, get DT in, because it doesn't matter what tyres he's on. He'll get the car home. I remember.
And there's a number of cars, John, that aren't circulating at the moment. So there are prospects, because you only get classified if you take the checkered flag. If you're just running and you've got 20 minutes after 3:30, you have to take the checkered flag to be classified. There's a number of cars that are stuck out on the circuit in various places, I believe.
Very slow.
That's fine. It's the final lap of the 49 car. Woody has been sent out for the final lap.
Right, got you. Sorry.
The V12 Vantage Aston Martin, after a great run through the night, by the way.
Have we had a South African driver on this top step of the podium here? Graham Goodwin, I'll set you off on that one. Just extraordinary stuff. The copywriter for the script here needs to be calmed down a little bit, because you can't write things like this and have people be expected to believe them.
Through the carousel goes Kelvin van der Linde.
Yes, the 2017 24 Hours of the Nürburgring. Yes, we filed that under fiction, actually, if that's all right with you. Can't be a documentary. That would never have happened in real life. How quickly fortunes can change. 40 seconds before the checkered flag comes out, and anyone who goes past then has finished their race. Kelvin van der Linde, who was waved out and went a bit early, coming up to the carousel. Second place car and third place car. Now the Nicky Katzberg driven 98 BMW and René Rast in the number 9 Audi. Do you know what? It stopped raining now. I reckon it stopped raining. It's still wet, but it stopped raining. And here is the leader coming through the final third of the 2017 race. Van der Linde over what will be slippery paint now. It's been dry, of course, all the way through the weekend. The usual graffiti painted on the track has probably not been so much of an issue. Now it's wet. The rubber debris will be making life difficult every time he turns the wheel, and it has a little bit of an understeer. Etienne will be, Kelvin rather, will be thinking, oh, come on, grip.
The checkered flag is out. Cars coming across the line now are taking the checkered flag. Their race is over. But, of course, the winner has yet to take the checkered flag.
But he's not far off, coming through the big slide, coming through on the Flansgarden. Really? You want to do that to your team?
He would be the first ever South African, in fact, first ever African winner of this race. Colin de Felipe would be only the second ever American winner of this race. It would be Christopher Meese's first Nürburgring 24 Hours, I believe.
Right.
And it would be, I think, a third for Marcus Winkelhock.
Just unbelievable. Everybody going wild at the side of the track. The marshals, who've been outstanding. giving an ovation to the cars as they're coming through. They know what they've witnessed, something very, very special here, as have you, listening or watching. The compliments about the stream, very well received here by our technical partners, Vega. It's been rock solid, global, no geo-block, free, uninterrupted. Every single session that has been competitive has been online for you around the world. And this has paid off for Land in the end. A slight mistake has turned into an opportunity. The opportunity grabbed and delivered by Kelvin van der Linde, who has taken the ball, run with it, and made the hard yards at the end. He comes down the Dottinger for the 158th, and final time will be 1 lap short of the distance record held by Phoenix Audi, set in 2014. The green, white and red Land Motorsport Audi. 2 corners to go. It's dry here now. The tyres will be worn. The 2 Team Thailand Gazoo Racing Ultimas are in team formation. The marshals know, the crowd knows, the man with the checkered flag knows, and Land Audi knows that they've won the 24 hours of the Nürburgring for 2017 in quite extraordinary circumstances. A team who were down, out and broken 45-50 minutes ago. Graham Goodwin.
Well, John, last year we saw 2 astonishing finishes, 2 astonishing final laps to 2 astonishing international 24-hour races. Well, here's another to add to the history books, because if you were here, if you were watching it, if you're watching on the stream, you will never forget the way that this race finished. Astounding stuff. These men here on the pit wall, these...
what emotions have they been through?
They've got no tears left. Absolutely right.
No, they are spent. They will not be able to lift a bottle of beer to the... No, hang on. No,
John,
sorry.
The inside of the Land garage is wetter than Flant's garden at the moment from the Olympics. It really is, because it's absolutely astounding scenes. Again.
And the BMW Rowe Racing, brilliant reward for them, coming home in 2nd place. I mean, they stuck to the
great last 2 laps.
They stuck to the task. They managed to get done what they needed to get done. And the play that I thought was going to go out with Rene Rast trying to keep the BMW behind him took a totally different race. Rene Rast brings the WRT Audi home then in 3rd place.
That's going to feel like a win for the BMW, the Rowe Racing guys. It really is.
Did you tell us whether or not the #1 Black Falcon Mercedes had come through? Because we heard that the car was out on the circuit. It was Maro Engel driving, and we're still waiting for that one to cross the line, as we are with the number 42 BMW, the Schnitzer car.
First 3 are home, Paul.
Yes.
And they will have completed 157 laps.
158.
Excuse me, 158 laps. The 42 BMW will also be scored, I believe, on the lead lap when it comes around.
As long as it's keeping going and as long as it's not broken out on the circuit somewhere.
It's just gone through the 2nd sector.
Perfect point from Martin Haven. Had we not seen the earlier drama for the Land Motorsport crew and that the sensor reset and the upset that caused and the mess of the pit stop that made, they wouldn't have had the opportunity, probably. And BMW would have won the Nürburgring 24 hours.
Yep. That's fair point.
Home comes the Lamborghini.
2nd in class.
And waiting for Darren Turner.
A confetti cannon at the end of the race on the racetrack. Whose idea was that? Oh dear, down in the garage for WRT. Leading, got the lead with under an hour to go and end up 3rd place on the podium. That's not going to feel a happy 3rd position there for WRT. Extraordinary stuff. Post-race tech coming in just a moment. Get your questions in. N24PRT is the hashtag to @RSL Studio. Your Spirit of the Race Award. That voting's gone all over the place in the last few minutes. Hashtag SOTR again to @RSL Studio. RSL_studio, excuse me. Brilliant stuff. And Martin, remember you saying, oh yeah, if I was Land, I would have, you just want to walk away and park it at that point. And I felt a bit silly saying, yeah, but they could still win this from here.
If you chose
They were so down, distraught. They were gone.